back to your favorite nerdy, unhinged podcast. Today joining us is me, the face of FanCorner, Rachael. Hi.
Woo, Richie!
And the boyfriend, Jaleel, will be back later this week, and we're going to be talking about Sunrise on the Reaping. But until then, we actually have a new series for y'all. We're doing Am I the Assholes, but nerdy. So nerdy, Am I the Assholes? Which I think is going to be really fun. So we'll see if it's good or not.
I was going to try to, am I the nerd hole or something? But then that just didn't sound very good, so yeah.
Don't do that. You don't have to try to be funny.
Am I the nerdy asshole?
No. Maybe in some of these. I think these are really funny stories, so before we get into it, we'll do our high mids real quick, but like shortened. I just want to say our high for both of us is we went to Disneyland last week.
Damn right we did.
We posted so much content, like
it was
honestly,
really fun.
But like it was so fun.
Well, and that's why Jalaire's not with us today. She's actually
in
Disney.
We influenced her. We were talking about how we were going, and I was posting a lot of content. And like halfway through my first day, Jalaire texted and was like, "Okay, so I decided I'm coming." So she went the weekend after me, and I was like, "Why don't you just go?" And I went, but she had to watch my cats. So
gotta watch the cats.
They have all their meds. It's a lot.
She's a very good cat nanny.
She is. They love her. Yeah. So
we love Jalaire.
Hopefully one of the cats will join us for the episode today. But I think we should just get into it.
Let's get going.
Okay. So
I haven't read any of these yet. Like you've hinted at a couple of them, but so this is all new for me. So
yeah. And if we continue the series, we'll probably have each of us bring a few so that I have some blind reactions. Yeah. I didn't read all of the in-depth detail on all of them or the updates. So I don't know everything. I just read enough to be like, okay, this is going to be on theme for us or not.
Yeah.
But I will link all of these stories if you want to read along or whatever in the show notes so you can go and check them out on Reddit yourself and form your own opinion as well. Okay, so, Brian, I'm going to read the title to you, and then you're going to tell me what you think, like, just based on the title alone. Okay, am I the asshole?
Yes. Sorry, I won't do that again.
You're a little button happy there. Am I the asshole for telling my coworker I'm tired of hearing about her nerdy obsession?
Idiot gut check is going to be yes.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like it, but, like, yeah. I don't know.
Hearing about... I mean, that could mean a lot of things, right? If it's the only thing she ever talks about, then that might not be great.
I think it depends on how you told them.
Yeah.
If you were like, hey, like, you're talking about something else, I don't think that was necessary.
No, if you're like, oh my God, get a life, like that could be.
Yeah, that's me. Okay, so let's see the tale. So I have a coworker, female 27, who is absolutely obsessed with Transformers.
Okay, well, so this, immediately she's not an asshole, because nobody who's a Transformers fan could ever be an asshole.
Yes, you read that right. She has a massive collection. I guess I just didn't expect that. I shouldn't have laughed. But I would have thought from her nerdy obsession it was going to be something else.
Anytime, I mean, being a lady, like lady pronouns, it just Transformers is not my immediate assumption for a lady's.
She has a massive collection of action figures and frequently brings one or more of them to work to show off. She talks, and it's really cute. She talks endlessly about the movies, cartoons, comics, video games, to anyone who will stop long enough to listen. She writes a ridiculous amount of fanfic that she also talks about. Almost every vacation she takes revolves around a Transformer conventions, etc. Most everyone else seems to think it's a fun personality quirk, or at least tolerates it. But it drives me bonkers because it's all she talks about. Like, get a life? Last month, a number of us were discussing things we missed most of that were gone/delayed due to the pandemic. This is an old story. I should have said that. This was 4 years ago.
Whoa.
Most people brought up visiting family, going to the movies, etc. Guess what this coworker missed most? Yep, her conventions, which had all been canceled because apparently stuffing hundreds of nerds in a confined space isn't a good idea during the pandemic. I admit that I lost my shit at this point, and I told her, oh my God, will you shut up? Nobody cares about your obsession. Find another hobby or just make something else to talk about besides stupid cartoon show and action figures. She clammed up and has not spoken to me the rest of the day. Since then, I haven't heard her say a peep beyond work-related stuff, which is actually a relief But other coworkers are saying that I'm the asshole for telling her to shut up, and then they actually miss her ramblings about fictional robots. One of them even says, I'm lucky this coworker didn't report me to HR. I don't think what I said was HR worthy. If anything, I think I did everyone a favor by getting her to stop talking their ears off about something she only cares about. But I'm wondering if I could have worded it better.
Absolutely the asshole.
Yeah.
Categorically an asshole. Yeah. God, super interesting that it's that much of her personality.
Yeah. Okay, so I didn't know Transformers, like this is a sidebar. I didn't know they had comics and stuff.
Oh yeah, it's a
idea.
big. I don't know if there's novels, but it's like a big built out.
I would have just imagined like the movies, and I was like, "There's not enough lore," but that makes more sense.
Yeah, no, the cartoon there's like seasons and seasons of different. Like it's like kind of like Star Trek, where there's like different shows. It's a little unfortunate that it's all she can talk about.
Yeah,
like that's not a good look. But I wouldn't call her an asshole for being that way because it also sounds like she was mostly talking to people who were talking to her. It's not like she's like evangelizing it, but.
Yeah,
even if she was, though.
So it's interesting because it sounds like they were all going around talking about what they missed most, like pre-pandemic life. So it was like an open-ended conversation of like, what do you all miss most? And they're all saying what they miss most.
Yeah.
And then like she gave an answer.
Yeah.
And then it was an authentic answer. So I think like it's kind of a weird jump. I think what's crazy about this to me is that she jumped from like being what it sounds like annoyed for a very long time to just like, oh my god, shut up.
Do we know if OP is a woman or a man?
We don't know, which I actually think is against the rules.
Yeah, so what I was going to say about
normally
that...
they have to say their age.
Well, so like think about it. So I'm imagining, especially based on the way...
By the way, OP means original poster. So
yes, the person who wrote this up. And so to me, the language and the attitude sounds like the original poster is probably a man.
Oh, what a dick. Oh my god, it makes me hate him more.
And so like, but just because the comparison is like, what do guys always all talk about constantly nonstop around the office? Sports. And so like, if, you know, nobody's ever calling out guys who that's their only personality trait there, just because Transformers is a little unique.
So what's interesting about this is like, so I worked in corporate America for a brief amount of time. do not recommend, do not press go. But like, I think like you get known for like a certain quirk.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, like I was known as like the nerdy one by far. And so a lot of what I talked about was nerdy, but it's almost because you're playing into what people want to hear, A. But B, it's like, you don't want to talk about like more vulnerable things sometimes at work. Mm-hmm. And so actually having one of those things to talk about, I think kind of gives you like insulation in the workplace.
Yeah.
You're like I'm not saying she's not a nerd because she clearly is a nerd, but like I think the reason that only that one facet comes out is probably because it's the workplace.
Yeah.
Also, but okay, so what's wild to me is I don't think it was unhinged for OP to be like, hey, by the way, like I don't love hearing Transformers stuff.
I think that would be a fair boundary to set. Absolutely.
Yeah. Especially not in a group conversation about like where you asked a question.
Yeah.
If OP just kept, or if the coworker just kept coming up to them. But like to just jump to being so mean is wild.
Yeah, that's what I think makes it an asshole. Now, is the coworker talking about Transformers constantly appropriate? Like maybe not. I don't think that we have an entirely like reliable narrator here.
Sure.
And so I think that they probably made it sound like their coworker talked about it a lot more than maybe she actually did to like make them look less like an asshole. So
they use like really sort of derisive, condescending language every time they mention them.
Well, certainly in the quote that they gave when they actually exploded.
Yeah, in the actual quote, first of all, yeah, that was horrible. But then it said, stuffing hundreds of nerds in confined spaces isn't a good idea during the pandemic. Like, you didn't need to say it like that.
I bet this is like a football bro who like has everybody's stats memorized, and so he's a nerd by any other name, you know?
It's all she talks about, like, get a life. Like, it's like this weird policing of this coworker's life for no reason. Like, is your whole personality just drinking, or? Yeah,
no, there's other hobbies that are somehow more socially acceptable to be your whole personality, even though it's like just as boring. If anything, it's probably more boring. I would love to talk Transformers with somebody at work. Are you kidding me?
So here's the question, though. Should the coworker have reported them? Obviously, the coworker did not. But should the coworker have reported them to HR?
I mean, I don't know exactly what all the guidelines are at what when something's bullying. Mm-hmm. That sounds like fucking bullying.
I agree.
Yeah, like just like publicly in front of everybody being like, "Oh my gosh, you're stupid!" Like
in front of a group of people to do that and to be that mean and that condescending. Because again, let me read the quote. "Oh my God, will you shut up? Nobody cares about your obsession. Find another hobby or something else to talk about besides a stupid cartoon show and action figure." She clammed up. So
that's so sad. God, this poor girl.
I know. What's really sad too is it says like the other coworkers are like kind of miss that quirkiness.
Yeah.
Like, and so it's like you clearly were almost completely alone in this feeling.
Yeah, I love how they think that somehow this was like saving the rest of the coworkers, like some hassle.
But no one else expressed
and they're like,
that.
oh yeah, so I think this person might be an asshole.
Yeah, definitely an asshole.
Do we have an edit?
Okay, so we do have, let's read the top comment first. So the top comment with 1.9K upvotes. You're the asshole. What? Okay, actually, hold up. I want to rewind. Sorry. Yeah. I'm not as eloquent as some of these podcasters.
It's our first time.
I did want to say, because I was trying to think, in what scenario could I see this person not being an asshole and had said that same thing?
Yeah.
And where it was the pandemic, like a conversation about what we all missed from the pandemic, like missing family, etc. I do think maybe if OP had like something wild happen during the pandemic, like one of their grandparents died and they couldn't see them or something
really tragic or something
traumatic, it could have, I could see why you would snap in the moment and like feel offended by someone bringing something up like conventions.
Mm-hmm. Like I'm sorry you didn't go to your convention because my grandma died. Yeah.
That's the only thing I can think of. But even then, I think
they're going around the room. Everybody's saying like their things. So there's no justifiable.
Okay, so here we go. Top comment again. You're the asshole. What did I just read? The way you talk about your coworker shows a level of disdain. That's exactly what I was saying.
Disdain.
You have for her. The language you use is downright disgusting. You all share what you miss. When she shared, you were the judge, jury, and executioner. You decide her missing a convention is not worthy of your time, of you listening, and you publicly, I think the public really was
that's a key thing.
Executed her in a very mean-spirited way. This girl is amazing for even talking with you for purely professional stuff. I feel so sorry for her. Who the fuck made you the judge worthy of hobbies and what's worth talking about? Who do you think you are? If you're not interested, do what any other mature adult is doing in the situation. Tune her out and move on.
That's what we do with 80% of work anyway, most of the time.
I know, so it's not that serious.
Yeah, what's his issue with Transformers?
I didn't know it had all that deep lore, but also, like, it's not my fandom. I wouldn't care.
I would love that.
How many people talk about boring stuff at sports?
Drinking and partying and sports and politics and
like 90% of the time I don't really care.
Yeah, like I don't want to hear your views on the news, Brad.
Yeah, I think HR, like there's a real case for bullying here.
Absolutely.
Update for those who care.
So this is an edit from the original poster.
This is an edit from the original poster because I'm scrolling through and like everyone's calling him the asshole or her the asshole.
Rightfully so.
You're so freaking mean. You're the asshole. Her hobby seems to bother you a lot. How about you get a life?
Yeah, no, seriously. Their whole hobby is hating her.
I cannot find a single one that doesn't call them. It's actually really funny. But so they did an update, and they said, okay, I get it. I'm a piece of shit. Stop messaging me to tell me so. Update for those who care. I'm getting shunned and hated on enough at work that I'm currently looking for another job.
Oh my gosh,
I did not see that coming. Yeah. I hadn't read that.
I bet a lot of the coworkers approached the Transformers girl, and were like, hey, by the way, that guy's an asshole. Like, we love hearing about it.
I bet you're right.
I would love it. Like,
because even if you kind of low-key agreed, and then you were kind of annoyed by it.
Yeah.
If I saw someone publicly disdain on someone like that it's just uncalled for.
Yeah, no, that's...
Like, you're going to be on their side.
They are the asshole.
I tried apologizing to my coworker, and she gave me an it's okay, but still refuses to talk to me. My guess is I'd be so interested what kind of an apology it was. I bet it was not a good apology. This
is so male-coded. Like, I said sorry. She's supposed to just move on.
Just forget about it already, okay?
Why don't you go watch Transformers about it?
She's back to talking about robots again, though, so I think she'll be okay. See, Darissa still. You didn't learn anything from this. Don't know for sure if she's on the autistic spectrum, but that probably doesn't make a difference.
Okay.
How does that not make a difference?
What a piece of shit.
We'll try to be more accepting of people's interests from here on out, even if it's too little too late for my current workplace. I think it's funny because it's like, she's back to talking about robots again, and you know they're Transformers. And so, like...
They're Cybertronians. They're not robots.
So they OP still has like disdain, but then they're like, I'm gonna try. No, you're not.
No, they didn't learn their lesson. They just learned to shut up. Yeah.
Okay, them feeling like they have to quit is the most iconic thing I've ever heard.
Yeah,
I'm so into that. I think sometimes when they get that thoroughly trolled on these threads, they're like, oh shit, and they like that's not what they were expecting, so they just stop.
Which is funny. I think Reddit is like, if you're an asshole on Reddit, you're an asshole.
Because
I think it's a hard place to.
Like, I listen to a lot of these podcasts.
Yeah.
And I have seen, like, the dregs of society seem like a lot of people come to their defense for no reason. Yeah. So, like, that's a good point. Like, to get a resounding, like, unanimous...
how often is it resounding? Like, yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to skip this one because so we don't have two crazy assholes now. Okay. Am I the asshole for telling my sister she's a fake nerd?
Immediately leaning towards yes.
Yeah. What the fucking gatekeeping? Okay. My sister, Lizzie, 31 female, broke up with her boyfriend, Chuck, 40 male. That is a crazy age gap. Oh, that's not good.
Wait, these aren't real names, right?
No, they're always
fake. They're going to use fake.
Who
came up with Lizzie and Chuck?
Okay, I will say, though, because of Chuck Bass,
Gossip Girl, sure.
I feel like that kind of research. I bet they watch Gossip Girl. It's the only. Okay,
so she dumps Chuckles.
He left a bunch of collectibles and comics at her house, saying she could have them. She has kept a few things, mostly Pokemon and cute monsters. What is a cute monster? Like just like a.
To be fair, I would have thought a cute monster was a Pokemon.
She's going to sell the rest. Our brother Joe is a huge nerd and went through the stuff with her. He found some really rare items, a few comics, pins, figurines. He told her the worth of them, and she let him have a few things. But she sold the rest and sent her ex half the money. Girl, the way I would.
Wow.
She's a better woman than me because I would be like, that's fucking mine.
It must have been a really amicable breakup.
She posted some of the items on her Instagram with the caption, nerdy but broke. I ended up commenting, fake nerds piss me off with the smiley face. My sister ended up deleting my comment and called me asking what I meant by that.
It's a very good question.
I told her it was a joke. She said, no, what do you mean by that? Because this is the third comment this month about me not being nerdy. I said that she posts a lot of nerd things, but doesn't really watch the shows or have an interest in comics. She has tons of t-shirts for shows that she's never even seen, but just likes how they look. I said I would stop if it bothered her that much. Lizzie said she wanted me to stop commenting negative things on her posts. Either like what she posted or don't comment. The next day I went on Instagram and she had me blocked.
Oh, good for Lizzie!
I tried to call her, but she got a text saying she was taking a break from negative people.
Yeah, I bet she was.
Clean out the boyfriend, clean out the sister from negative people, and would call me in a week. I hadn't finished reading this.
Wait, do we know if OP is lady or gentleman?
They didn't say again, which I'm surprised they didn't get in trouble for that.
Maybe they've changed the rules since it's kind of recent.
I called up Joe, who she is closer to, the brother, as a reminder, and asked what the deal was. He said that Lizzie was trying to work out her life. I asked, what does that have to do with me? He said that I needed to think about what I was putting online, that not very many people liked my sarcastic jokes, and in this case, it wasn't really a mean joke, but Lizzie was sick of them. So I either need to...
What do you mean it wasn't a mean joke?
Yeah, you don't need to play advocate that bad. So I either need to start posting positive things on people's walls, or I would likely
that
stay
shows
blocked.
How old this is when it's walls.
I thought the jokes were affectionate, but Lizzie apparently hates them.
It's like, wait, I can't just say you're a piece of shit and it doesn't sound affectionate?
Am I the asshole? I love
you're the asshole, affectionately.
I love how it's like, actually I blocked you as a joke, so it's fine.
Just a prank, bro.
Okay, so this is so interesting though, because we have a woman who loves nerdy things, posts about nerdy things, but doesn't watch the shows. Does it matter?
I mean, I don't think so. That's never really bothered me. I'm trying to think of an example of something else. I always come back to, so I guarantee that this person has something in their life that somebody could gatekeep them from.
Oh, absolutely.
Maybe they like weightlifting. It's oh, well, do you even watch the IFBB pros? Or whatever.
If you can't write in Elfish, actually, you aren't a real fan.
You're not a real Tolkien fan.
True.
Yeah. No, I think that especially given what nerd culture is and what nerdy fandoms are, any level of interest, I think, is valid. Like, you don't need to have some test that you pass.
Well, so it's interesting because she mentions Pokemon specifically.
Mm-hmm.
And she says Lizzie kept a few of the Pokemon. And so, like, to then later say, and I mean, maybe it was different fandoms, but that the sister, like, doesn't watch the shows. Like, not everyone that played the card game when we were growing up, like, there's a nostalgia factor.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have Pikachu stuff, but I don't watch.
Yeah, when's the last time you watched Pokemon? Yeah.
Pokemon, like, but what does that have to do with anything?
Yeah.
Do you know? It has nothing to do with anything.
Yeah, no, and it's like, so who's coming up with this arbitrary degree of like fandom validity test? Like, so I don't know if Pokemon has comics, but like, okay, you watch the show, but you don't read the comics. Are you a real Pokemon fan? I don't know. Like, it just seems like for whatever reason, OP has got some standard in their mind that they've come up with of what it means to be nerdy. And if you don't meet it, you're not valid. It
kind of feels like maybe OP is like a bigger, or in their mind, a bigger nerd.
Yeah,
and so
absolutely.
They're gatekeeping it.
Yeah.
I've had that happen to me. So I bought
totally.
a t-shirt and it had the little cat, Gigi, from...
Gigi's very cute.
Yeah, from Kiki's Delivery Service on it. And for context, for those of you that are new to the show, I have 3 black cats. So like Gigi, my black cat, they look like the same cat. So I had seen Kiki's Delivery Service when I was much, much younger, but I hadn't seen it.
You're not a big anime person in general.
I'm
like,
not.
You don't watch much.
But I liked the shirt because, like, the way, like, Gigi was sitting on things, like, it reminded me of my own cats. And this person in my life was literally like, do you even know what that's from? Does it matter? Like, why are you giving me attitude? It's crazy because, like, okay, so say someone isn't very nerdy, but they're buying your IP, like the IP that you love, like that just supports your fandom.
Yeah, no, it's only a good thing to have somebody identify as being a fan of something that you like. So like, I love Warhammer 40,000, but I have never painted a single miniature. I've read 100 books, and so somebody comes along and they haven't read the books. In some ways, I feel like they're a bigger fan than I am, even though I've spent hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours in these worlds.
Yeah.
Because in my mind, somehow, if you actually are willing to paint the little miniatures, you're far more dedicated than I am. But yeah, it's like kind of these arbitrary levels that we have in our heads of what makes somebody a nerd.
But either way, like that money that the company is getting, from whether it's the books or them the miniatures, it's like it's still helping keep that fandom going forward. Yeah. So you should be celebrating that, if anything.
Yeah.
I almost wonder if, like, there's like, to me, it seems like there's like a sister rivalry going on here. Like they're like, well, nerdy is my thing. You can't have it because maybe like they think they're hotter or something.
Yeah, so they're like overcompensating.
Yeah, like I'm adding some stuff, but I don't know. But what? Okay,
fake nerds. Oh God.
I think the wildest part though is they commented something rude. The sister deletes it and calls, and then when Lizzie's like, "Hey, this hurt my feelings," like OP wasn't like, "Oh, I didn't mean to do that," and like I won't do that ever again. Like they almost kind of doubled down in my mind.
Yeah, no, they really built their wall around what they were trying to stand on. Yeah, very poorly. God, that age gap is crazy. 9 years.
I actually think though that's Lizzie like breaking up with the boyfriend. I mean, we don't know that for sure, but like going through a breakup and then also like ditching their fucking loser sister. That's iconic.
Yeah. No, I want to let's send this girl a Starbucks gift card or something.
No, seriously, like that's so iconic. Also, like, okay, Lizzie sending half the money to the ex, because my guess is the ex fucked up. But so, like, because otherwise I don't think he would have left all that stuff.
Yeah, he probably did something really bad.
Yeah, he did something really bad to be like, no, you can keep it. Like, even he knows he fucked up.
That's fair context.
And so I think, like, Lizzie sending the money to the ex shows that she's, like, such a good person trying her best. And so for her sister to just be such an asshole to her is crazy.
Yeah, that's sad.
Also, okay, her having to deal with all this stuff from her boyfriend in some ways is still kind of,
it's like a little traumatic or whatever.
Yeah, like, that's still a lot. And so, like, she's going through this breakup and you're just going to be, like, punching her while she's down?
Not good.
Unnecessary. Okay, so.
We don't have an edit, do we?
There's no edit. Let's see if they commented on anything. Top comment, 190 upvotes. Jokes are only funny if everyone involved laughs.
Love that.
You joked about your sister 3 times in a month and refused to accept how she could be offended. It really doesn't matter if she's a nerd or not. It's not up to you to gatekeep. And she's right when she said either like what she posted or don't comment. You were being deliberately hurtful and got caught out.
Yeah, that's not a joke. Like, yeah, that's like when like you punch somebody in the face and be like, haha, it's a joke. Like, haha, you better laugh. It's like, no, that's not how jokes work, bro.
Yeah, you can't just like, I feel like also, okay, I think it's key context too, that from the context of the post, we can tell that they don't think their sister's nerdy enough.
Mm-hmm.
So how is it a joke then if like you're being disdainful, like you said what you really thought, and then you're like, but I don't want consequences, so it's a joke.
Yeah, it's a joke. LOL. Yeah, it's like Schrodinger's douchebag, you know?
That's exactly what it is. You should explain that though.
Yeah, so it's like a guy comes to a party and he tells an off-color joke to try to be funny, and then like waits to see if people laugh. And then if people laugh, he's like, yeah, I'm funny. And then if they don't laugh, he's like, no, I was just kidding. Like, that's kind of Schrodinger's douchebag.
That's a perfect example.
No comments from the original poster?
Oh, okay. So I could not, there's no comments from OP. Probably because
they promptly got roasted.
Because they got roasted. There is one comment. Everyone's like unanimous, you're the asshole, except this one comment. So I'm going to read this. Okay, yes, I agree she's a fake nerd, but keep it to yourself. You could have thought that and not vocalized / type it to her. Jokes at someone's expense are rarely, if ever, actually funny. I'm sarcastic as well, but I learned the hard way that you have to be very careful because you can really hurt someone. How is that sarcastic?
Yeah, it's not sarcastic to just say something. Yeah, no.
Like, if you were an AP Lit and you...
Also, I don't feel like we have context that really would indicate to me that this lady is a fake nerd. Like, what about what happened makes her a fake nerd? Is it fake because she's selling the stuff?
I guess she's fake because she has some t-shirts where she hasn't watched the TV shows.
Well, what does that have to do with this experience? Like, with this... Like, I guess if you were a real nerd, you want to keep the shit? Is that what the OP is saying? So, like, you selling it means you're not a real nerd?
No, I think because she captioned it nerdy but broke. So because she's self-identifying as a nerd.
I don't know. That still is, like, nothing about that says fake to me.
Such a joke. Also, it's never a good idea to try to be sarcastic in a comment typed online. And this is
so hard to tell.
What's crazy, though, is, yes, she's a fake nerd. Is she?
Yeah, again, that's
she
what I come back to.
She likes collecting Pokemon.
Yeah,
how is that?
I don't think... Yeah, nerd isn't something that you have to qualify to be.
No.
Yeah, that's really annoying.
Like, stop. Like, I think it's so funny how nerds hate being persecuted, but then the second someone, like, tries to, like, bond with you, you're like, well, not like that.
Not like that.
Like, I don't know. It's ridiculous. Okay. So. Okay. So this one is, I think, at least from what I've read, more in between, so...
That's a little bit more fun, but it's a little more ambivalent. Like, that's like, all right, now we can put some theories in place and...
Well, I think there was a sister rivalry on that last one.
Yeah, that makes sense, yeah.
Because, like, I'd be willing to bet that the sister's, like... Yeah, anyway. I like to add a lot of stuff that we don't have proof for.
That's what's fun about this.
Yeah. Am I the asshole for not wanting my partner to know about my fandom blog?
Not wanting my partner to know about my fandom blog. I'm leaning towards yes.
I'm leaning towards no.
Are you?
Yeah, because, like, how long have you been together? Like,
partner is a strong word, I feel like.
Sure.
But, okay. Yeah.
So we'll see. Okay. So I've always been a nerd / in fandoms. Ever since I found out what they were. Running fan blogs, making edits, writing fan fiction, participating in group chats about whatever fandom I was in, with other fans and blogs. The interest changed, but it's something I've always done. It's where I express myself and create content, and it's like my happy place. I, 21 female, have been going out with my partner, 22 female, for 3 to 4 years. That is a long time.
That is a long time.
Ray, don't try to kill us like that.
She got
me. We're going to have to, like, take a pause just to bandage you. And she knows I've always got some sort of special interest or show going, but she doesn't know about the blogs or the edits or the fics.
What does an edit mean?
Edits is like on TikTok. Like,
like making a video and you like put
video.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, like to like a trendy song or something, you're like putting the Kylo Ren like stuff, Raylo stuff to it. It's not her vibe. She's never really been into fandoms or done that sort of stuff before and thinks it's kind of nerdy / cringy. Overall, just doesn't get it. She asked to see my camera roll in conversation, not in a controlling way, promise. And I wasn't comfy with it, so I said no. She asked why, and I said, it's got fandom content on there, and it's embarrassing. She dropped it, but said it seems like I'm hiding something, which I guess I am, and I totally get why she's feeling weird. That's not really what I'm confused about. I mainly just don't really want her or anyone I personally know about to know about this side of my life. It's for me, not anybody else. I just don't see how her knowing would benefit anybody. I'd be embarrassed, she'd be confused, and cringing. Most of what I share, must we share everything with our partners? Am I the asshole for not wanting her to know about my fandom blog, edits, fanfiction?
That's a really interesting question. So
this is nuanced.
Dead ass, if this was a guy,
yeah.
If OP was a man, it would change my answer.
Yeah.
Because if a man doesn't want you in his camera roll, like, this could all be a very elaborate cover-up to just justify not wanting to let his partner into his phone.
Okay, and also, I think sometimes it's like the fandom test. It's a test I used to do on Men I Was Dating, where like you kind of like gauge their reaction to certain fandom things, like when they're into fandoms.
To ascertain their red flags.
Yeah, because they'll always tell them themselves. But like if it was a man and they were making like, I could see it very easily being like creepy underage Padme edits and like just stuff that really is like, holy shit, get the fuck out, or like gatekeeping women blogs, or like, you know, but where it is two women and two very young women. So if they've been dating for 3 to 4 years and she's 21.
I think the partner was 22.
Yeah, so they would have been 18 and 19 when they got together. No, 17 and 18. So they were
probably like maybe senior high school year, so I think I'm gonna go with not the asshole, but that's very dependent on what the fandom content actually is, and we're assuming that there's not something else going on underneath the surface.
Sure.
In terms of like, is there a confession of love or something else that would be in the stuff, or some type of a weird, like, creepy fandom take. But like, I don't share my pre-writing with you. Like, sure. I've got pages and pages and pages of stuff for my book, and I'm like, I don't want you to see that side of it. I want you to read the book itself.
It's interesting to me that, so again, they're very young, and I want to keep highlighting that. 3 to 4 years for your partner to not know that you have blogs and edits and fics after 3 or 4 years is crazy.
Yeah, that feels like a big secret to keep.
Like, it sounds like this is a huge part of your life. You're spending a lot of time doing it. And I'm not saying they have to read everything, but to just like sort of be like, no, that does seem a little, not that they're an asshole, but just like, I don't think it's a good sign for the relationship. Also, they say that the girlfriend cringes a lot when fandom things brought up. So I just don't know if they even really belong together.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like maybe not a great fit. Like, if it's such a big part of OP's life and she doesn't feel like she can share it with her partner, like, I mean, I love Warhammer, you don't like it, but like, I've made you read one of the books, like, I don't know, like, I wanted you to know what it was about.
And you tell me when you're excited about things, like, if you've been
not that I'm a perfect example of
2 to
relationship
3 months,
transparency,
maybe it would make sense.
Yeah.
Okay, what's also crazy, so they don't know about it at all, the girlfriend doesn't know about it at all, but then it also says, she asked to see my camera roll in conversation, and I wasn't comfy with it, so I said no. She said why, and I said it's got fandom content on there, and it's embarrassing. So where the girlfriend doesn't know that she's doing like blogs and edits and things, it's got fandom content, feels like the weakest ass excuse I've ever heard to not show your camera phone. Like, so I actually think they might be a slight asshole for letting their partner like be that panicked about it.
Yeah, no, there needs to have been some other, like, this lack of transparency is now leading to what feels like a lie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Exactly. I'm not saying like, you don't need to show them the stuff that you've made, but I think like at this point where now it has become like a point of problem in the relationship. No,
it's not like the week before a proposal where weird things are going on and you're like, are you cheating on me? And it's like, no, it's like, just trust me, babe. It's like, no, that's a huge part of her life to have covered up. And so I think it's fair to view your fandoms and like that creative expression as like a journal.
Sure.
But I do kind of also feel like there's a point at which you share those kinds of even journal type moments with your partner. Not everything, but like for her to not even know it's happening. But like, so I think that's where there may be an asshole, is where they didn't like, because I mean, that sounds like that happened, I mean, at least a few hours ago for them to have time to write this. Yeah.
So I think it's like, she's feeling weird now.
Yeah.
And it's like, of course she is, because you just saying fandom content, that makes it sound like it's a few saved TikToks from someone else.
Yeah.
And so you being weird about it makes no sense at all. And of course it's going to scare her. So I think you're a little bit of the asshole for not being like, hey, I think you would need to just be like, hey, like, I write fan fiction. I did not want to admit that, but I write. Like, I think you have to fess up at this point.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's kind of an asshole. But also, I think if it sounds like they say the girlfriend cringes a lot at nerdy stuff. So it kind of just sounds like y'all really shouldn't be together too.
Or at least you need to work on some boundaries together or something.
The girlfriend cringing at fandom stuff, but not knowing it's her partner that also does it. That's kind of an asshole move to me.
Yeah, I do think that there's a little bit of everyone's an asshole here, but I do think that there's definitely, like, the problem is that some conversations haven't been had that should have been had, and now it's turned into her being assholes.
Yeah. So the overall vote is no assholes here.
Yeah.
Which I can kind of see just because of their age.
I forget that no assholes is an option.
Yeah.
Yeah, like just a shitty situation.
Shitty situation. I think you have to fess up a breakup though. At this point, not the asshole. This is top comment. Not the asshole with a caveat. It's worth more deeply examining why you don't want her to know.
Yeah.
Yep. Both on your own and with her. This would be a completely different comment if you had only been with her a few months, but you have been with her long enough at this point where secret keeping is a little bit of a dangerous territory.
Yeah, because that's what could be covered up by it.
Yeah. What are you afraid will happen if you tell her? A lot of people in geek nerd culture don't tell people because they're afraid of how they'll be treated when people find out. If she's made comments / finds it nerdy, cringy, that's a conversation worth having because you're actively hiding something from her and you're more willing to look suspicious than to have her find out about it. Yeah, it's very weird.
Yeah. So you can look suspicious to hide something for a week.
Yeah.
Like, I have a surprise plan for you. So it's like, hey, babe, I have a meeting. I can't tell you what I'm doing. Like,
yeah.
Ray fucked me up. She got me. I keep having to, like, it's like right on my boob.
I'm sorry, baby.
It's okay.
Don't scare her next time. Not the asshole, but I'd suggest you think a little bit more about the difference between private and secret. It's fine to have a part of your life that's private.
Yeah, private and secret. Yep.
Yeah, but if you push the line to keeping it an absolute secret, however, you get into things like having to sneak time when you want to work on this, and so you're only doing it when no one knows, and then telling lies about what you're doing.
Yeah, I think it's like too big of a thing to be secret.
Yeah, which is stressful and unfair to yourself too.
Yeah, that's like a hard way to live your life. Yeah, I think these people need
they're just so young.
Yeah.
Also, I'll say, like, if you're feeling this way, like, honestly, they need to break up. I think so young.
You could put, yeah, that's actually a good point. It's like, this is a relationship they've been in since before they knew better.
Yeah, like, if they'd been 25 to 30, like, it'd be like, okay, like, you could come back from this. But I think they so clearly are on different life paths that, like, they need a break from each other. The fact that she doesn't feel comfortable coming forward with this, I think, shows, like, a lot. Not the asshole. Okay, this is a hot take, so we're going to read this out loud. Not the asshole, but I still can't fathom a reason why she would want to look at your photos on your phone unless she was trying to see what you were doing. Hard disagree. Like, we have a trip together, and I'm like, oh, can I look through the photos?
No!
Like, what the fuck, man? You're like, oh, I saw BB today. Like, there's a neighbor cat we like to see, and you're just, like, being cagey.
Yeah, no, 1 sec. Yeah.
Like, what the fuck like, 3 to 4, you're still hiding the photo app? Be serious. And also, I would say this, too. If the girlfriend was asking to see the photos because she's starting to get suspicious, it's because you're going off and hiding in a secret room with a cloak on to write your fanfic.
Not a good look.
Like, you're probably lying about what you're doing.
Not a good look.
Oh, my God. Yeah, not the asshole. You're well within your right to privacy, and she's within her right to feel suspicious. That being said, you could explain the situation to her a little better.
That's so funny.
Yeah, you're not like an asshole, but you're not communicating well. And that being said, I think if you're 25, you'd be an asshole.
Yeah, I do think that age is very much a factor.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, at some point, you've got to be comfortable with who you fucking are.
Yeah.
I think we probably have time for one more.
Oh, my God. Okay, so, let me see.
We just talk too much, baby. Rachel and I have the funniest nicknames for each other. I think we started at 5 or 4:15.
Oh, well, we could go 2 more.
Let's do one more and see how we go.
Okay. You were saying our unhinged nicknames.
No, we have really cute nicknames. I call her Toast a lot. That's probably my biggest nickname for you. Sometimes we say Baby Nug, like Nugget. Which I'm not quite sure where that came from, except that I love chicken nuggets, and so you started calling me Nugget.
You started calling me Nugget, and so I think I call you Baby sometimes, so then just merge together.
I don't know. It's very fascinating how those things can evolve. I think Toast is the cutest nickname anybody's ever had. Because it's like Brave Little Toaster. Because you have a Brave Little Toaster sticker.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, Toast is cute. Okay, so we have 2 different ones. You pick which one we're going to do, okay? We'll save the next time. Am I the asshole for calling my coworker a hypocrite for giving her baby a nerdy name? Or, am I the asshole for wanting to play video games for 30 minutes to an hour every day when I get home from work? I picked that one because you're a gamer.
I know, that was ironically, like, that's kind of what I aim for, is 30 to 60 minutes of gaming a day.
So it's just Brian writing in,
it's
really.
Literally just, me low-key. Wait, is that person an asshole or not? I don't remember. Okay, I'd say let's go with that one because I think that applies. But the nerdy name one, that sounds really juicy too. But it also sounds clearly like the OP's probably an asshole.
Okay, you ready?
Let's do it.
So a reminder, am I the asshole for wanting to play video games for 30 minutes to an hour every day when I get home from work?
Okay.
No context. I actually haven't read it.
So every day is where I'm struggling.
Okay.
I think that if it's like, no matter what's going on, I'm going to go play my games, you're probably an asshole. You wanting to squeeze an hour of game time in a day, like when it works, not an asshole. When
I get home from work, makes me say asshole.
Yeah, where it's like, don't talk to me, I'm going to go play my game.
We need to make dinner.
Yeah.
We need to do stuff.
Yeah. No,
that's kind of a dick move.
No, yeah, I think that's...
guys putting on the game right when they get home.
That's the caveat there, is I think an hour a day is totally fair to want for yourself.
Yeah.
But right when I get home and every day, it sounds too strong.
Yeah. Let's see.
That's like, it's your birthday, and I'm like, no, games first.
I'd be so annoyed. Okay, so I... 37 male. Actually, you read this one out loud.
All right. So okay. That's funny. It already tells you.
I know, it's what I've known.
So 37 male, work as a service manager for a high-volume dealer and am out of the house for 12 hours a day. I leave at 6 a.m.
Like a drug dealer?
I know, I have no clue.
Oh, it must be a car dealer.
I'd imagine that's what it is.
Oh my god, babe. I was like, that's a crazy thing to admit
I was really hoping that it would get into it, but it doesn't seem like they will. So as high-volume drug dealer, so he works from 6 a.m. and I don't go home until 6 p.m. 5 days a week. My wife is 33 female, gets upset when I get home, and after eating dinner wants to get a couple rounds of COD in. COD is Call of Duty. It's a first-person shooter. My wife is a stay-at-home mom with our 18-month-old and thinks it's absolutely criminal that I want to get some decompressed time at the end of the day. My daughter is still in the mommy all the time phase, so she prefers to spend more time with my wife than I. Usually, when I get home, I will eat dinner, do whatever honeydews she has. That already pisses me off, these call them honeydews. And then play a little. After I'm done, I will join them and spend time with my family, which usually is her watching a movie/show, and I reading the same book to my daughter 10 times, LOL. My wife says that even when I'm chilling with them, I spend too much time on my phone. While we are all hanging out, if my daughter is asking for my attention, I will stop what I'm doing and do whatever she's asking me to do. Whenever she wants to go back to mommy, I will browse Twitter or Reddit, since I usually have absolutely zero interest in what she is watching. She accuses me of being absent/not present, since I can't focus all my free time on her and the baby. Also, side note, she is currently 20 weeks pregnant.
No, wait.
So 20 weeks is divided by 4, 5 months pregnant, somewhere in there. So am I the asshole?
Yeah, you're the fucking asshole. Are you kidding me? This stay-at-home mom, so she's been working all day because that's a fucking job. It said she was a stay-at-home mom, right? I didn't check that.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're like, I need an hour to decompress. What about her fucking hour to decompress, motherfucker? Do you know what I'm saying? A, so I'm pissed off. B, like, I'm sorry, you not having work-life boundaries at your work is none of my business. You working 6 to 6, I feel like it's probably because you don't have boundaries and probably a you problem.
So if they're working 12 hours a day, 5 days a week, that's 60 hours a week.
That's a lot of hours.
Yeah, so that does sound to me like, and yeah, I think they said high volume dealer to try to like make it sound important.
Sure.
It's like, no, bro, you're the finance guy at the car dealership. Like, calm the fuck down.
And so, like, start looking for another job, honestly. But like, I think like her being a stay-at-home mom and you acting like that's not a job is already fucking. Are you kidding? Honeydews?
Yeah,
not just
this guy,
chores for the house.
This guy hates his wife and he hates his kid.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that. And then her being pregnant too. I'm sorry, your pregnant wife wants to watch shows with you? Yeah, she's carrying your fucking child. I don't care if you're not interested in her TV show. She gets to pick the TV shows and the movies while she's pregnant with your fucking child. Get fucked, bro. Also, okay, one child being 18 months and her already being another 5 months pregnant. It's only about a year apart.
Yeah. That's giving trad wife a little bit or something.
Yeah, a little. I think I read that like to properly recover, and I could be wrong. This is not my area of expertise. To properly recover from pregnancy, I think it takes 2 years.
Wow. Yeah, it's slightly traumatic on your
it's
body.
Really traumatic on your body. And so I think like there's not that there's anything wrong with the fact that that's what's going on, but like her body's been through a lot. Like, because she would have been in postpartum for a while after baby 1, and then she got immediately pregnant. Like, her body's been through so much, and you're going to be saying words like honeydews. And then did it say he wakes up in the morning to play Call of Duty?
I don't think so. I think it was just after everything was done.
When I get home and after doing a couple rounds of COD. So I think like 30 minutes to an hour, it's not the 30 minutes to an hour that makes you an asshole. It's like, I'm sorry, you decided to have a kid, and having a kid means less free time. Yeah, no, there's a decision that's made there, and you have to change your priorities. And so this guy is crazy. He hates his kid this much that he's gotten her pregnant again. Well, like, that's crazy. And then it's also crazy because he's like, he needs this time to decompress, but mom only has, because mom still has kid when he's playing Call of Duty. And she's pregnant. But then she also has the kid when they're doing family time. Like, yeah, it sounds like, no, the baby prefers being with mommy time right now, so it's my excuse to fuck off and be an asshole the whole time. So that, I think that's, I might. Also, him playing Call of Duty, I'm sorry, that to me seems like a red flag game. It doesn't, and you don't decompress when you play COD, it stresses you out more. So I think I might have a little bit of patience for this guy if when he was with the kid, he gave a shit. Yeah, but where he's like, all she wants to do is read the same book 10 times. I don't have any interest in what she's doing. You need to bond with your kid, bro. Her being, she's 18 months old. And like, yeah, I'm sorry, reading the same book 10 times is part of it. Also, you buy more books. Yeah. Like, what's your problem, dude? You're this high-rolling dealer. So we do have some edits. I'm going to go through and read these and see how they change anything. So, okay, but also, one last thing. Yeah. Wife calling him out on always being on his phone actually really pisses me off, too, because, like, yeah, again, I don't care if he doesn't care about the TV show. Like, he's not even connecting, so it's not even just about the Call of Duty. He's doing Call of Duty, and he's not paying attention. He's on his phone. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of counts against him. So edit number 1, I get up at 5 a.m. and usually fall asleep by 9:30 to 10 p.m. So 10 to 5 would be 7 hours of sleep. Okay. My wife and daughter nap through the day, so when I'm sleeping, they are usually awake for another hour or 2. So he also goes to bed before they're done. Him putting it that way makes it sound like the wife and daughter nap during the day makes it sound like they're like lazy. Yeah. Versus she's a baby. Yeah, I don't know how much 18-month-olds are supposed to nap or everything. But I know it's like a big thing. A huge nap every day. Even when you're a toddler, I think you do. Edit number 2, it has been confirmed that I am indeed the asshole. Thanks for all the constructive suggestions, y'all. Time to work on adjusting my mindset. Oh, okay. Edit 3, although I do see how I can improve, it does seem like some more background is needed on my home and work situation. So now we have an update that's bigger than the original post. That's fine. So this might be interesting. Okay. I literally took this job and all that came with it because my wife decided she wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. The original plan was for her to go back to work after our daughter was born, but during her maternity leave, she decided she would rather stay home until our baby was school age. During that time, she also decided she wanted another baby. I've done everything to try to accommodate her wishes. I took the job, dropped my jiu-jitsu and gym time since I don't have time to go anymore, and really only the one hobby now that I have I can do from home. Whatever. My wife and I's childhoods were similar, raised by single mothers in a low-income neighborhood in LA. Now we have a nice home in a very nice part of a beautiful city. I've struggled and grinded on my own since I was 17, and I'm awfully proud of the life I've managed to build. My wife has always hated gaming, even before the babies. But it's always been a hobby of mine since I was a kid. I didn't have a whole lot growing up, but had a Nintendo, and instead of jacking around on the street, I would come home and play that to stay out of trouble. The people of this subreddit are absolutely merciless. I've even received messages on how I'm disgusting, or a piece of trash, and should go to hell. That's insane. My wife picks our 2 family destination vacations every year, and on weekends we're either spending time visiting her family or going camping. Can I be more attentive? Definitely. Is our marriage/life an absolute shambles? Definitely not. I will always be willing to learn and evolve as a person. I've wanted to be a father since I can remember and will always try to be the best one I can, but I'm still a human and still flawed. I guess I've got a little bit of patience for the guy if those things about the wife are true. Just a smidge, but I still think like he has said right here he wants to be a father, and being a father is a 24-hour job. So that's my problem with it. Yeah, mom's decided she wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, but postpartum's a real thing. And it takes 2 people to make a baby, right? Maternity leave is not very long in the United States. So, like, she probably, my guess is, felt panicked about going back to work as soon as she would have been required to go back to work. Yeah. And that's very relatable. Like, it probably wasn't quite long enough. Yeah. Now, she's pregnant again, so you can't ask her to go back to work again. But, like, I think, like, sure, I feel sympathy, but, like, at the same time, like, a kid's a huge commitment, and to not think that was going to cost you your jujitsu and everything already.
Yeah, he's going to resent this kid because he doesn't have his mind right.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah, I'm sure. That's
like,
why he
honestly,
doesn't engage in what she's doing.
You fucking need to get a nanny or something.
Well, so I think it's really interesting. Like, now, absolutely cool to see somebody who's increased their socioeconomic status by working really hard, I guess. But, like, I think that a big issue here is that job is too many hours.
That job's way too many hours. Like, he needs to switch to, like, a different dealership. I'm assuming dealership. I'm not going to say dealer because the way that sounds like something else. He needs to, like, put in apps for a different dealership. And, like, if that means... Now, I feel like often, like, if we job hop, your salary goes up. So I feel like he could be trying to put in that work. But then if that really is what it's like, and that's it, then maybe downsize. I mean, he says they live in a very beautiful home for things like that.
Yeah, you got to change your priorities.
Downsize so you can get a nanny.
Yeah.
But, like,
help your wife out.
I'm surprised, though, when he says he had to quit jiu-jitsu and the gym. I do think that... So gyms have baby daycares, a lot of gyms. Maybe not the gym he used to attend, but a lot of gyms have a daycare so mom and dad can work out. Could you not do something like that with baby? Like, I just think, like... Also, okay, so here's my other thing. Gaming is very relatable, like wanting to game and wanting to still have a personality after a baby.
Right.
Very relatable.
Yeah.
But, like, if he were to put Mario on or something more kid-friendly, could he not put baby in his lap and baby's giggling, watching? My guess is he could do something like that. I've seen plenty of parents do stuff like that. So, like, I feel like baby could be involved in the gaming so that he's still getting to do his hobby. Yeah. But that he's hanging out with his kid.
Yeah. No, I think that a few tweaks could really change this, and I do think one of them is absolutely childcare.
Yeah, childcare would be. I think they need a nanny so they can both have some, or like a gym with a daycare.
Yeah, there's a way to kind of combine some of those. Top comment, 18,000 upvotes. You're the asshole. You may work 12 hours a day, but you're a dad 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
You have 4 competing interests: your family, your job, sleep, and your personal time. Right now, you are giving 1/2 of your time to your job, which, I mean, and I know that, like, yeah, times are tough. This is 3 years ago, and I think things have gotten even more since then. Yeah, 12 hours.
That's a lot of time.
Yeah, that is a lot of time.
My guess is he's not making enough money to make that worth it.
Yeah.
Like, I think his workplace is probably exploiting him quite a bit.
So you have to divide the remainder of your time between sleep, family, and yourself. Now, you really can't take much time from sleep. I'll assume you sleep about 8 hours. Now you have 4 hours for yourself and your family. Take an hour for yourself, 3 hours for your family. Is that enough time? Are you happy being a father and husband only 3 hours a day? Now, to compare that with your wife, she is a stay-at-home mom 24 hours a day. She's always on call. She constantly has a kid attached to her. Even when your daughter is asleep, your wife can't get too into something because your daughter can wake up at any time. Honestly, your household sounds very stressed. You are stretching yourself thin. Your wife has no reprieves. It's easy for me to say you need a lot less demanding job, especially if you want more you time. The 12-hour workday and stay-at-home mom isn't making either of you happy. So I do think that's the key is, like, yeah, one thing has to give. To be fair, this guy can sleep less. Plenty of people sleep 4 hours a day. That is an option. And so you think you're going to get 8 hours of sleep.
Well, he already, I think, in his other update, it sounded like 7 hours of sleep.
Well,
which
okay,
I will say is on the low end.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people do sleep on less.
Sure.
And if it's like just right now while things are extra crazy.
Also, I would be interested, does only wife get up for baby in the night? Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's something I would find very interesting.
Yeah, well, also what's happening on the weekends? This guy's acting like he's got no time, but you've got 2 full weekend days where I imagine he's probably taking a bunch of time to himself. Maybe he's helping with the baby.
He says that they do camping and they visit her family. But, like, if he were to game for an hour on each weekend day, I don't think it would be a big deal. It's a problem because it's the night.
No, I absolutely think that if there was the easiest solution to this specific problem is like, okay, get 1 hour less of sleep and play your COD when you don't get sleep.
That's fair.
But I also don't feel like that's not going to fix the other 7 problems going on here, which is that the guy hates his wife and his kid, and he hates his job.
Yeah, there's a lot of hate going all the way around.
Yeah, no, it's like this is classic. I did everything I was supposed to do. My life should be easy now, right?
Also, you know, because it's interesting because he's complaining about the personal time issue, but he's not. Well, so again, first of all, when is his wife getting a reprieve? And that's what this commenter was calling him out. His wife never gets a reprieve, so that's a problem. But second of all, like, when he is hanging out with the wife, he's not locked the fuck in with her. Like, she has mentioned he's on his phone. And so him
being on Reddit while he's with his family floors me.
Put your phone down, man.
This is a really cool one. You're the asshole, and if you bonded more with your child, there wouldn't be what you call, quote, mommy all the time phase. You are too self-centered. Somebody else responded, thank you, I'm a dad, and that pissed me off so much.
Yep. Also, I really think there's video games he could play that baby would find engaging to watch. I deadass think he could make that into a bonding.
Yeah.
Maybe especially once baby's a little bit older.
Yeah.
But I think even at 18 months, I've seen babies get into stuff like that.
Another top comment, info request. Do you ensure your wife also gets an hour of kid-free time each day to do whatever she wants? And of course, there's no response.
Yeah, because
he doesn't answer that.
I bet what's crazy is that didn't even occur to him. He thinks because his wife decided to be a stay-at-home mom, and he's acting like that was like a switch for them of like, oh, well, she was going to go back to the workforce. And it's like...
Yeah, so some of this doesn't add up. So like what I can't fathom is how she got pregnant or why she got pregnant again. I could see his reasoning and that it's doable. Stay-at-home mom does most of the work. That doesn't make any sense. But she knows better. So she's thinking, my partner works 60 hours a week and isn't great about parenting our kid when he's not at work. I'm solely responsible for this kid most of the time. Time to have another one. I think he's the one who wanted her to be a stay-at-home mom. I think he's the one who wanted her to have another kid.
He does say he was always looking forward to being a dad, so I could see him adding pressure to her, for sure.
I love this. You are getting a lot of suggestions here already, but as a former stay-at-home mom, the baby is in the mommy phase because she is there more, you dumbass. Spend more time with her now so you two have your own bond before she hits the independent phase and doesn't want to be with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Dude, in 5 months, you are going to be dealing with a newborn and a terrible twos toddler. You need to get this worked out now because the shit is really going to hit the fan. Is your wife basically not getting any her time until the kid is in bed? Because that's unsustainable. She needs a break too. And it's going to be harder once baby 2 gets here.
Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be so much harder. I think, actually, though, I will say I do think I think it was a little half-assed, but I think there was a little bit of accountability in his edit.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he resents that she's a stay-at-home mom. And that needs to be brought up.
Mm-hmm.
But, okay, so if she were to give that up and get her job back, then would you be able to even afford a nanny, or would you still work 12 hours a day?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. Because it doesn't sound like the wife is complaining about what she has to do as a mom.
No.
But he's somehow then making her seem guilty for what she's doing.
Yeah, it's like he thinks because he's working so many hours, which that is a lot of hours, but he thinks because he works so many hours, she needs to, he deserves more time than her. What he's not realizing is, she works the same amount of hours.
And I actually think her job's way harder because he's, dorking around with the guys in the office. He's probably flirting with women in the office. While he's there, he probably, and it feels good to be out there making money.
Certainly getting more mental stimulation.
Oh, absolutely. He's adding years on his resume to where he's able to get other jobs in the future. And so she's
impacting her long-term career trajectory.
I'm sure that being with the baby is very rewarding and everything, but when babysitting the cats for an hour can get boring. I can't even imagine, how hard it would be to be with a kid.
I've heard a lot that stay-at-home moms, it's really important for them to interact with other adults.
Yeah.
Because of it is rewarding, but then they still need conversations. And so when he's coming home, instead of him giving her conversations and bonding with her, he's just nothing.
Yeah, no,
it's pretty crazy.
It really sounds like he hates her because I absolutely get wanting to have some time on your own. But you should be recharged by being with your partner. I
am so insanely confused by the choice to have, he chose to have another kid. Because now she can't go back to work now anyway. Yeah. And so it's but also I think they need to downsize their life to have a nanny.
Yeah. Or at least daycare.
Yeah, just an hour or two. I had a girlfriend, she was a single mom to be fair, but she would drop her kid off twice a week for 4 hours, and that was it. Mm-hmm. So it's 8 hours a week, and it was just time for her to and she was like, then I can do housework, I can do whatever. But she was like, the point is that it's then time that I have. And so there's just so many other solutions, and I know that it's really expensive, so I don't want to pretend that's an option for everyone, but for them where they're living in a high-income area.
Yeah, he definitely is trying to flex on how much money he makes now.
Which, if you make that much money, you could fix this.
Yeah, that's my thing. Is you don't get to have your cake and eat it too here. You can't act like you don't have any money and then talk about how impressive your job is.
Now, maybe you strapped yourself in your place where you live.
Yeah, they might be cash poor and house rich or whatever they say. Yeah.
But then honestly,
then that's a mistake that you can fix. Yeah, sell the fucking house. Yeah.
Anyway, that got a little off topic from being nerdy, just because it was gaming, I think. But
makes me feel a lot better about the way I approach my hour a day of gaming.
Yeah. So there's an interesting study that like for every, I'll link it below. For every like men have 2 to 3 hours of leisure a day, which he has an hour, so he's doing okay. Whereas women will have 30 minutes.
Oh, interesting.
And that's an enormous. And so the fact that it never even occurred to him when she's hanging out alone is crazy.
Well, I still think if you're at that job for 12 hours a day, like all the research shows that a very small percentage of that time in an office is used productively.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, he's not home for 12 hours, but I'd imagine there's only 3 hours a day to maybe 6 where he's like working while at that office. And now I might be wrong.
I don't know. Where it's a dealership, I don't know. He might have to approve every deal.
But like, I still think, corporate America. I absolutely think that there's huge swaths of most of those days where he's not doing anything, even if he's at the office. And so acting like you need to come home and not do anything, like you've been doing that for half your day, I guarantee it, even if it is kind of like on call.
Yeah.
Or that's the craziest job I've ever heard, and he should be making $500,000 a year to be working that much.
Yeah, absolutely.
And maybe he makes that much, in which case you absolutely should have an nanny.
Yeah, no, seriously.
Yeah, that would fix
it. And there's so many fixes, and I know a lot of people call them out in the comments of like, the gyms with the daycares and different things.
Sure.
And then mom could be alone for some time.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't get what he's even doing. Like, honestly. And then it's so funny, like, to be like, oh, she doesn't even like games. Well, it doesn't matter if she likes games or not. She probably doesn't like games because you're an asshole about the games.
My biggest issue with that whole thing is that COD is his way to relax. Maybe that works for people, but like,
I guess if it's on autopilot for you, that's like
you reach that point. I don't know. Just it's not a relaxing kind of game.
I think it's a red flag game to be your go-to game.
Sure. Yeah,
like, more than anything.
To relax, I go kill people.
Okay. So let us know in the comments if you agree with what we said, if you disagree with what we said, where we got it wrong, all the things. Also, let us know if you want us to do this again or not. So we would we at least have a few more stories so we could do a nerdy Am I an Asshole Part 2 Electric Boogaloo. But until then, do we have any announcements?
Do you have any cool products coming out for FanCorner? Anything FanCorner related going on? I know we're post-Disney, still kind of in a bit of a haze, so...
We are going to be at Rose City Comic Con. I'm not sure if I've announced that on here, so if you are in Portland area, we'll be at your Comic Con in September. Check us out there. I think that's the main announcement. Oh, and then coming out this week is our Friends Mirror.
Yes, Friends Frame
Mirror on it, so I'm really excited about
Whose idea was that?
Okay, it was yours. I forget. I'm sorry. Who made it happen for me?
I glued the mirrors on the frames!
You can have more credit. And then we're also putting out some Kindle Charms, some Fudge Frog ones, and some Friends frames. They're very cute. They plug into your Kindle as like a little decoration, so it keeps the dust from going up in the charge port. But you can use that for anything as well with the same.
Have you ever cleaned out your charge port on your phone?
No.
Don't ever. Let me do it. It's very distressing. It's amazing what collects in there. So yeah, you want a charm to keep that from happening.
I don't know if I need to know that. I'm picturing really gross things now. Okay, comment, subscribe. You know the things. We adore you. Have a very magical day.